So, hi guys, for anybody who doesn't know me, my name is Louisa Ingleson, and I run the Healthy Diet and Exercise 12-week programme with Living and Beyond team. So I thought maybe it's a little bit more motivating to hear somebody speaking as well as just reading a PowerPoint. So I just thought I'd run through some of the most important themes within session 1. Okay. So obviously January is a really good time to start something, you know, everybody's really motivated, they'd have Christmas, maybe overdone it a little bit, like myself, and feel that they want to get back into it. And I know it's really hard at the moment with everything that's happening and being on another national lockdown. That can feel very unmotivating. I do understand, I know we can't go anywhere. I know it's very challenging, but there's reasons why we're doing it, and we're doing it to save lives, and we're doing it to protect the NHS. It will finish, it will end, we will get to a better place, but for now, we're just going to have to deal with what we've got. So I'm just going to give you a few tips, a few little things that you can do. So I am not about diets. I don't believe that diets work. They can initially work to lose weight, but very few people, and I mean very few people, sustain that weight loss. So it's about having something that you can practice into your own life and actually make those changes that just sort of stay there rather than getting bored of them and then going back to eating the way you were, put the weight on, then you're back on another diet. It's a bit like a roller coaster, isn't it? So just a couple of points then to start with. Monitoring. So I've got my little handouts here. Monitoring. So it doesn't have to be like this if you haven't got one. You can do your own, and basically you are just going to write down Monday everything that you're eating from, oh sorry Nugget, kicked my dog in the face, everything from your breakfast to a mid-morning snack to lunch to mid-afternoon to an evening meal. Okay, it's very good to start writing things down. You can download apps as well onto your phone, so I use my Fitness Pal, which is free. And you can even scan food, so it does it automatically for you. I'm not bothered about logging calories. I just do it for ease, but you might just want to write it down. And it's just a really good way of making yourself aware of actually what you're eating. Because sometimes, you know, you are actually unaware. We a lot of the time we eat unconsciously. We're not actually mindful about eating well, and we forget we've eaten it. But if you have to write it down, then it's there in black and white, isn't it? It's like, oh, I did have that, and that's maybe why I put weight on this week, or you know, you can get an idea of why things aren't working out the way you feel that they should. So to lose weight, you need to be in a 500 calorie deficit. Okay, and that's to lose, I believe it's £1 a week or £2 a week. So that can be quite a lot to cut out of your diet. So for a woman, we would usually be having, dependent on how active you are, 2,000 calories a day, and that would be to maintain your weight. Now, if you want to lose weight, you'd be looking at 1,500 calories. So we need to look at sort of making sort of changes here that will add up to that calorie deficit. For men, it's usually 2,500 to sustain, and if they want to lose weight, they would probably drop down to 2,000. Okay, again, it's very dependent on energy that you put out, so exercise, walking, moving around the house. Okay, if you're somebody who isn't able to do that, you might need to have a few less calories than that. Okay, but the best way to start is to not be bothered about calories, is to just start writing it down. Please feel free to send it to me. I can have a look at it for you. I'm not going to sit there in judgment and going, oh, we shouldn't have had that. Look, you know, we're all the same. Nobody is perfect. So, but just writing it down makes you aware of it. So I've been there myself where I've actually been like, well, I don't really eat that much. Once I'm putting it down, I'm like, ooh, I didn't realise I had that, and I didn't realise I had this, and actually it makes you think more about that food you are going to put into your mouth, because you know you have to write it down. It's a really, really good way of gauging what you are eating, because a lot of the time we are very unaware of actually how many calories that we are taking in. Okay, so that's one of my first things. Write it down, it works. And if you're writing it down and you still can't understand why weight is not coming off, send it to me, let me have a look at it, okay? And I will hopefully be able to see something, and you might see a pattern. Every night you maybe eat some biscuits or something like that, so you'll be able to go, well, why do I do that every night at that point? And it's looking at making small changes, isn't it? Small, achievable changes that you can keep for the rest of your life. Okay, monitoring is the first one. Okay. Goal setting, another great one. So setting SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Okay? So a vague goal that you would set for yourself, which is not really what we're looking at, would be, I'm going to get more fit. Okay. I'll eat healthier. I'll drink more water. A specific goal is, I'll go for a walk every Saturday for 30 minutes and I'll review it in 2 months, and then you might want to up that time because you're finding that easier. Another specific goal would be something like, I'll eat a piece of fruit each day, and if I succeed for 2 weeks, I'll increase it to 2. So it's starting yourself small, and then gradually, these are the small changes that will go into big changes that will ultimately help you lose weight or maintain weight, and something that you'll be achievably able to stick to. Okay, because you've embedded it there as a habit. Habits are really hard to break, so it's that thing of, isn't it, of doing it small and achievable. I will drink 2 pints of water a day, 1 with my lunch and 1 with my evening meal. That's a specific goal. So, a little bit of homework for you. Could you please set yourself 2 specific goals? Okay. It doesn't have to be a huge goal. It could be something like that. I'm going to try and eat 1 piece of fruit a day. I am going to drink 1 litre of water a day. I'm going to drink 2 pints of water during the day, because maybe you aren't drinking enough water and you know that you need to get some more fluids in there. Okay? So that's it. 2 specific goals I want you to set me for next week. And how are you going to achieve it? How are you going to start doing that? So if you want to get fitter, how are you going to do that? You're going to go for a walk every day, aren't you? Or you're going to try and do a bit of exercise every day or every other day. It's got to be achievable for you. Okay? And if you can't do it every day, then don't put it down. Put something you can achieve. Because if you achieve it, you're going to feel really good about yourself and you'll be motivated to go for the next goal. Okay? So, the monitoring diary that I'm asking you to write down. Okay, I don't know if you guys can read this, but I will be sending some things through on the emails, okay, some attachments and things. So, tips for your monitoring diary are you eating 3 regular meals, including your breakfast, a day? What time of the day are you eating? Portion sizes, are they big, small, or are they just right? How have you stuck to the easy plate? Now I'm going to go on to the easy plate in a minute, okay? How often are you snacking? Are the snacks healthy? And be honest with yourself, are they healthy? Why did you choose them? So why did you choose those healthy snacks? What types of food are being eaten during meal times? Lots of carbohydrates, sugary foods, so lots of pasta, lots of bread, lots of potatoes. Are you eating at home or are you eating on the run? I think most of us are eating at home at the minute because there's not really anywhere to run to, is there, as such, unless you are at work. Have you used the hunger to fullness scale? Now that's another thing I'm going to discuss with you as well. Any moods that are linked to what you're eating. Now this is why the monitoring diary is brilliant, because you will start to see if there's a pattern. Is there a time when you feel miserable or low or just a bit, or even happy, where you want to eat? And it's really good to address that and to see where that is. It's a habit and we can look at them making changes to that habit. What has been successful and helped you so far on your journey? Anything about eating that you found hard? How much water or other liquids have you drunk, including alcohol? So it's time about being a little bit honest with yourself. And I think sometimes the monitoring diaries are not pleasant because you have to be honest with yourself, and it's hard, and it's very hard to not be honest with yourself when you're having to write it down. Okay, so talking about the Eat Well plate, we are looking at, this is how we want our plate. So we are looking at sort of 3/4 of it vegetables and fruit. you're looking at about 2 portions of fruit to 3 portions of vegetables a day. Some people might have more, but you'd be looking at having less fruit to more vegetables, because vegetables are higher in fibre and they're lower in calories, okay? Fruit, although very good for you, does contain sugar, but you should still be eating at least 2 portions of fruit a day. It is very good for you. Okay, you'd be looking at a quarter of your plate carbohydrates, so things like your potato, your pasta, your bread. And you'd be looking at about a quarter again of your protein and dairy and fats. Okay, so let me show you my Eat Well plates that I bought a couple of years ago from Matalan, I believe, online. So this is quite a funky little plate, and it's a really good way. They've done half of it for your vegetables and your fruit. You've got a quarter there for your carbohydrates, so your potatoes, your pasta. You've got a quarter there for your meat and your proteins, okay? Now, I bought this because I was like, oh, that's an adult size. This is a huge plate. I bought one for the children, and really, this is what we should be having as adults. Look at the size difference. It doesn't actually even look that small on the screen, but if you look at the size difference, it's a lot smaller. So I actually use this size plate. That one's quite big, and it's a really good way of not putting too much on your plate. Okay, so you might eat really well, but you might just eat too much of it. Okay, and that's another normal thing. There's quite a few categories of kind of what happens. People eat really well, but they eat too much of it, or people just eat very small amounts of foods that are highly processed and high in sugar and high in fats and salts, but they add up to a lot of calories. So that's why the monitoring is really, really useful. Okay, hunger to fullness scale. When you are filling your monitoring diary in, 1 would be you are ravenous, yeah? 2 would be very hungry. 3 would be hungry. 4 would be slightly hungry. 5 would be neutral. You're neither hungry nor not hungry. 6, satisfied. 7, you're full. 8, you're very full. And 9, you're feeling sick, you've eaten that much. Now, I think we can all, at least at some point in our lives, be honest and say that we have all got to a point where we have eaten too much food, and what a horrible feeling that is. And you know you've done it to yourself, and you know you're like, oh, my stomach. I did it on Boxing Day night. I felt absolutely horrendous. I was up all night long, and I tell you what, since then, I've gone, oh, I can't, I don't want to feel like that ever again. So I've gone on to eating better, feeling healthier, exercising more, and sometimes it's a bit of a catalyst. It's that thing when you do that and you go, oh, I felt absolutely horrendous. Not doing that again. But it's remembering that feeling, isn't it? But we've all been there. So you want to ask yourself, when you're writing it down on your monitoring diary, before I eat this, am I hungry, and where am I on the hunger to fullness scale? So if you're ravenous, then you are not eating enough during the day. You shouldn't get to a point where you are absolutely starving to eat. Okay? You should be at a point where you are hungry. So that's why we'd be looking at your 3 meals a day with a couple of snacks. A mid-morning snack and an afternoon snack. Now, when I say about a snack, I'm looking at a piece of fruit, some vegetables with a bit of hummus, a couple of crackers, low-calorie snacks, but that's something we'll look at another week, so I'll give you some ideas there. So you don't want to get to a point that, and then I want you to ask yourself, after you've eaten, where do you feel on the hunger to fullness scale? Because you should feel satisfied to full, not very full or sick. So that means then you're eating too much. It's just a good gauge to actually ask yourself, am I that hungry? Do I feel that hungry? Yeah, it's a good reminder. One of the things I've always said is to people that they go, oh, I'm starving. And I go, okay, well, if you're really hungry, you're going to eat that apple over there. And they go, oh, no, well, you're not hungry. Because if you were really hungry, you're going to eat the apple, you're going to eat some of the fruit in the fruit bowl, aren't you? But, you know, it's just that thing of being aware. Be mindful, asking yourself, yeah, how you feel. So, and the last thing that I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about the different food types. So fruit and vegetables, okay, they're rich in fibre, they're low in calories. You should have 2 fruit to 3 vegetables a day. It should be about your fist size. Fruit and veg are so good because they're full of vitamins and minerals, whole fruits, you know, juices, yes, but full of sugar. So you only want a little bit of, say, orange juice, something like that. They're low in calories, fruit and vegetables, but they fill you up, okay? So they're good to put on that on your plate. And they contain natural sugars, but they do contain sugar, so don't go overboard thinking I'll just eat loads of fruit, because you'll be getting a lot of sugar there. You can add fruit to your breakfast, salad to your sandwiches. You can have little veg sticks as a snack and dunk it in a little dip. So we're going to talk about, and also we're going to talk about carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are things like your bread, your potatoes, your rice, your pasta, popcorn, quinoa, and carbohydrates, 1 gram equals 4 calories. Okay? Your size of your carbohydrates should be the size of your fist. And I think that's going to be shocking to some people, especially when you're dishing up that spaghetti, because that's one thing we will look at is portion sizes, okay? So you're looking at your protein and your carbohydrates as your fistful, okay, to your body. So unfortunately, men have got bigger hands, so they're going to get a bigger portion, okay? Carbohydrates, they're important. A lot of people think that they're scary and we should take them out of our diet. No, we need them to keep healthy, to keep a good diet, okay? It helps with everything. You need energy. So carbohydrates have long-lasting energy. The fibre, so they keep you full for longer. They're a great source of B vitamins. The whole grains and the wholemeal varieties have got more vitamins and fibre in, so they are a better option, and they are slower releasing, so they keep you fuller for longer. Please try to bake, boil, steam rather than cooking in fat. Okay, protein. So 1 gram is again 4 calories. Protein is so important because it dulls hunger. It helps keep you sustained for longer. It's essential for growth and repair of the body. Provides you with energy. It's protein-rich foods such as milk are also a great source of calcium, and they're great for your bones and your teeth. Meat sources provide us with iron, which are important for the red blood cell formation. They keep you fuller for longer, as they take longer to digest within the body. Protein is really important, but it's just sort of getting that really nice variety of everything in your diet. That's what we're aiming for. Okay, let's move on to the last one, which is fat. So fat provides 70% of protective coating for the brain. We need fat. You don't need to be scared of fat. It's just we need to keep the amounts minimal. It's great for memory and brain function. It's necessary. It's great for heart health, skin health, hair and nails. There are 2 types of fat. So there's one which are saturated and trans fats, okay? So where the trans fats and saturated are the highest amount, they hold the highest amount of calories, and unfortunately, they're the nice things like your cakes, your crisps, your chocolate, your pasties, your pastries, all those things that taste really nice, your chips, your fish, your takeaways, and they're the things that we need to limit, that we need to just have smaller amounts within our diet. We don't need to be having huge amounts of it because it's not good for us. And I think unsaturated fats are what we're looking for. So when you're looking at your labels on back of things, we're looking for unsaturated fats, yeah? So they are the healthier fats. So that's a little bit of a talk about different food groups, the Eat Well plate, a little bit of portion size, goal setting and monitoring. So my best advice is, please monitor, write it down. And if you're wondering why nothing's happening, nothing's shifting, send it to me. Take a picture, send it over to me, and I'll have a little look for you, and I'll just write back and let you know what my thoughts are. You might be eating something that you don't realise is really high in calories, and we might just be able to shift that for something else. So good luck with week 1. Any questions or comments, please feel free to message me or email me. Okay, but I will see you next week.